Hi there, it's been a while since we have done a good core workout. One that is not just a quick blitz burn, but takes you from the very beginning where we remind ourselves of that essential core breath work, the transverse activation, we add in a little bit of load, so we start progressing and making those exercises a little bit harder, and then we throw in some really comprehensive core exercises to make sure that you're working hard. We're going to add in some planks, some 4-point hovers, and a few variations like that, so that as you are feeling stronger and wanting to kind of add a little bit extra, you know what your options are. But equally, you've got your regressions and where you've come from, so that if you need to strip it back, you can. Let's get started. We're going to start lying on our back, and then just having an awareness of the position of our pelvis. We're going to tilt our pelvis so that it's tipping up towards the sky, so we get a flat back in this position, and then we're going to tip our pelvis down in the opposite direction, so we get that arch underneath our lower back, and then we're going to find neutral. So this neutral spine replicates how we would stand. It follows the natural S curvature of our spine. We're going to tuck our chin ever so slightly and drop our ribs. Take your two fingers on the inside of your hip bones, and then we're taking that focus straight through to our transverse abdominis, which runs horizontally between those two hip bones. We're going to inhale, and then as you exhale, you're going to activate those transverse abdominis muscles by thinking about your two hip bones gliding together on the exhale. We're going to inhale, ribs expand, pelvis opens, and then exhale, and as you do so, you're thinking about drawing those two hip bones together. So at the moment, that core awareness is purely through breath. You're going to keep it here. If you wanted to, you can incorporate a pelvic floor activation at the same time. It all happens on the exhale. But at the moment, there is no movement. We're not adding any additional load in. One more breath. We inhale, ribs expand, pelvis opens, and then on that exhale, we're going to activate that transverse abdominis by drawing our two hip bones together. We could also cue that by thinking about the skin from your knuckle line drawing through to your tailbone. And then we're just going to relax totally. We're going to add in load now. So we're going to incorporate that breath with movement. We're going to inhale and take our left knee out to the side. And then exhale, activate our transverse and draw that left knee back into the center. If you've got your two fingers on the inside of your hip bones, then you should be able to tell whether or not that transverse muscle is activating or whether your obliques are kicking in. So we'll do 3 on each side. Inhaling, take your knee out to the left, and then exhale, activate your transverse and draw back through to the center. Inhale, take your knee out to the right. Exhale, engage your transverse and draw back through to the center. If thumbs are underneath your rib cage, if you've got any kind of muscle tensing underneath your thumbs, that means your obliques are kicking in and we don't want them to. So just draw that attention back to your transverse. Slow and controlled. We inhale and take your knee out to the right, and then we engage that transverse muscle as we draw our knee back through to the center. Okay, hug your knees to your chest. It's going to rock side to side and get a little massage down through your spine. And then we're going to keep our feet hanging quite low to our thighs. Keep your fingers in that position with your thumbs underneath your rib cage, your fingers on the inside of your hip bones. We're going to take both knees out to the left. So with our feet off the ground, it's making it a little bit harder. We tip out on the inhale, and then we exhale and draw back through to the center. So obliques are going to want to activate as we draw back through to the center. They're a stronger muscle. We want to take them out of the picture. So have that focus of your transverse activating on the exhale. We inhale out to the left, exhale, engage, and draw back through to the center. Inhale, take it out to the side, exhale, engage, and draw back through. Now, progression-wise, we know that the further our feet are away from our hips, the harder that exercise is going to be. So we can take it out, stretch your legs out, but make sure that it's your transverse that's activating, that's doing all the hard work. So we inhale, drop out to the side, exhale, engage, and draw back through. And if you've had to play around with where your feet are positioning, you'll start getting that idea of where you sit in terms of your strength at the moment. If it's too much, you drop it back down again, keep your feet close to your thighs, and that's going to make it slightly easier. Right, we're going to place our feet back on the ground, and we're just going to tip it over and just turn that into a spine stretch. So we're looking in the opposite direction, taking a nice deep inhale, exhale, just relax into that stretch. Draw your knees through to the centre, take it out to the other side. Enjoy the stretch on that opposite side before drawing back through to the centre. Now this time, keep your feet floating. We're going to do a single toe tap down. Same theory applies. If your feet are hanging quite close to your thighs, it's going to be nice and easy. As we toe tap down, we're going to inhale, and then we're going to exhale, activate our transverse, and draw back through to the centre. Inhale on the other side, toe tap down, exhale, engage and draw back through. Now you can make this so much harder by slowing it down, or you can lift those feet up, stretch your toe tap a little bit further out, engage that transverse muscle to draw back through to the centre. The slower you go, the harder it is. The further out your feet, the harder it is. One more. Find that sweet spot for where you are, paying attention to what happens with your lower back. If it shifts off the ground and you find yourself doing this, then you've gone too far, so just regress it again. We're going to go to a double toe tap, so just drop your feet slightly again. We're going to inhale, toe tap down, exhale, engage and draw back through. If that's enough for you, stay at that point. If you want to extend, the further out your feet, the harder that's going to be. So as you do so, just checking in with that core strength and adapting as you need to. Good. That transverse should be fully awake now, and you should be working quite hard in this position. So yes, it's slow, yes, it's controlled, and yes, you're working hard. Pause. Okay, rest your feet on the ground. We're going to come up into a crunch this time. So we're going to inhale, sit up, and then lift. And then at the same time, as we hold up here, we're going to glide one leg out long, draw it back in, glide the other leg out long, draw it back in, and then relax. So we're playing around a little bit with that time under tension. We lift into the top position of that crunch, extend, draw back in, extend, draw back in, lower back down. Once again, inhale to sit up, lift, extend, extend, and then draw back down. 2 to go. Inhale to sit up, lift, making sure that elbows stay wide. You're supporting your head just with your hands at the base of your neck. And then lower back down. Inhale, set yourself up, lift. Shoulder blades off the ground as we extend one leg, and then the second leg, lower back down. We're going to stay with that crunch. Now that we've integrated that back in, we're going to play around a little bit more with that. So we're going to inhale, sit up, exhale, lift. And inhale, take our hands to our thighs. Exhale, lift up a little bit higher. Inhale, take our hands down to our ears. And then exhale, release. We've got 5 of them. So we inhale to sit up. Exhale, lift. Inhale, hands to our thighs. Exhale, pull. Inhale, hands to our ears. Exhale, down. Keep going. Good. I think we've got one more. Inhale to sit up. Exhale, lift. Inhale, hands to your thighs. Exhale, pull, lift a little bit higher. Inhale, take your hands to your ears. Exhale, release and go back down. We're going to change and add some rotation in for a second. So if you think about our obliques taking over at this point to get a full rotation in our cycle, we're going to really keep our elbows wide, look down at our bottom elbows, stretch our long leg out, and then change. We're going nice and slow and controlled. 5 on each side. This is our last one. And then rest. Woo! Can you feel it? Oh my goodness. Okay, crunches this time. We're going to add that oblique movement in. So we're going to lift up. We're going to stretch out past our left knee. Bring our hands into the center. Come into the center of our legs. Come back, hands by ears. Take our hands out to the right. Hands by your ears. And then rest. Relax. If you need to separate that and break it up in between, it changes. We go out to the left, lower back down, into the centre, lower back down, out to the right, lower back down. Should we play around with that? Here we go. Lift up, take your hands past your legs on the left, hands to the centre, stay high. Draw your hands through in between your legs, hands to the original position by your ears, and then take it out to the right hand side, really stretch so that we're engaging that oblique on the left. In, and then rest back down. We're going to break them up this time, so we go left, back down, centre, back down, right, back down. We've got one more to go of each, both. Here we go. Lift, take your hands to the left, into the centre, back, out to the right, back to your starting position, and then relax. Here we go. Break it up. We go to the left, back down, centre, back down, right, back down, rest. Please tell me you can feel that. We're going back to cycles, but we're playing around with how we do it. So float your feet. We're going to go quick, quick, hold on one side, quick, quick, hold on the next. As you pause, you're lifting a little bit higher. Quick, quick, hold on one side, quick, quick, hold on the next. Quick, quick, hold on one, quick, quick, hold on the next. We've done 3, we're doing 5. Good. Keep going. Nice and fast with those quick shifts, and then really pause, hold, draw yourself up a little bit higher as we pause on that last one. Rest. Oh my goodness. Okay, pause. We're going to turn it over. Go for a cat-cow stretch. So in this position, we're arching our spine to the sky, pressing our hands into the ground, pulling our shoulders away, so we're really lengthening into that stretch. And then reverse, sinking your pelvis into the opposite direction, looking up at the sky and really getting that nice lengthening down through the front of our abdominal wall. So we reverse, tuck our chin, look between your knees, pull your spine towards the ceiling, and then reverse, lengthening out. And then repeat. This is our last one. Good. Find neutral. Similar to how we set up when we were lying on our back. We've done our pelvic tilts, and then find that nice steady position in tabletop position here. So we're going to do an opposite arm, opposite leg extension. So taking it into a bird dog. We're going to check as we do so that our leg is in line with our body, that our hand is in line with our shoulder, and then reset. Opposite side. Imagine a cup of your favourite drink on your lower back, and as we take one limb off the ground, we want that to stay nice and steady. So tuck your toes. We're going to lift up into a 4-point hover position. Belly buttons pull through the spine. Just going to pause here. So really push your shoulders away from your hands. Check that your knees are underneath your hips, that your spine is neutral, that you're nice and steady. And then just relax. I'm going to do that again. So opposite arm, opposite leg. You can inhale to set up, exhale, just lift, making sure that once again it's that transverse that's activated, that you're not just moving limbs, that you're conscious to stay in control through that movement. Stand on the opposite side, and then reset. We're going to tuck our toes. Now inhale to set up, exhale to lift. If that's enough for you, you can just rest and you can keep doing it that way. So we inhale, exhale, lift, hold, keep that nice strong activation, staying steady in that 4-point hover position, and then rest back down again if you need to. We've got one more to go. If you've been holding the whole time, good on you. Well done, it's not easy. Good, pause. That bird dog, we're going to continue. So we're going to stretch out long. This time we're going to take it out to 45 degrees. We're going to hover it above the mat, lift it back up again, and draw back through to the center before resetting. I'm going to extend, opposite side, pause and just stabilize, take it out to 45 degrees, hover it above the mat, pause, lift, and then draw it back through into the center, and then reset. Tuck your toes, here we go, lift. If the 4-point hover is too much, you can stay in this position and go back to that very original core breath work and try it in this position, noticing the difference. we're going for another round of those bird dog extensions, but we're going to add an elbow to knee touch. So here we go. We extend out long. 45-degree angle. We're going to hover above the ground. Drive it back up again. Draw back through to the center, and then this time, stabilizing through the trunk, you're going to just take elbow through to knee. Gaze remains neutral. Extend out long again, and then just reset with that hand underneath your shoulders and your knee underneath your hips. Repeat on the other side. So we extend out long, take it out to 45 degrees, hover it above the mat, lift it back up again, take it back to the center, stabilize first, and then you're going to do your knee to elbow before drawing back out again, staying nice and slow and steady. We reset into the beginning position. Pull back into child's pose. You're going to inch your fingers forward. Be active in this position so that your fingertips only are on the ground, pushing your hips back onto your heels. Take a nice deep breath in, and then rest, relax. If you're okay to progress, we're going to take it into a half plank position at this point. So, in this position, we're thinking about all of our same cues that we were in with that 4-point position. I'm going to say belly button pulled through to spine, but you know that that transverse sits lower, so think about having that activation. And we're doing a single arm opposite shoulder tap. As you take one hand away from the floor, just make sure that nothing shifts through your torso so that your hips don't rock side to side. So we're just pausing. I'm going to do the same. Shoulder tap, pause. Shoulder tap, and then pause. You can be working in the whole time in this plank position through the core. Shoulder tap. Notice if you put more pressure through the knees, or if you're digging in just to stabilize, or if it's really that core that's working hard to keep the hips from rocking side to side. This is our last one. And then pause. From here, we're going to pop up onto our toes. So in this position, you are wrists underneath shoulders, and then start with your feet out wide. We're going to repeat that shoulder tap. So we go shoulder tap, and really checking in to make sure we stay stable. Move your feet slightly in and repeat. Shoulder tap. How hard are you having to work to stay stable? Move your feet in again. Shoulder tap. Did you do it? Stick them close. Here we go, last one. Shoulder tap. Awesome. Come down onto your knees, pull back once again. You can see how just the smallest movement really can make it into such a hard exercise. Taking our feet from wide into narrow changes it totally. Having to take one hand off the ground forces that stabilization. So there's a lot going on that you can really work hard without having to throw your body weight around in a sit-up. This is our last plank variation. You're going to go on forearms this time. So we are going to work a little bit harder through the lower body. You're going to pop up onto your toes. And then in this position, we're going to hold that plank. We're going to hover our knees above the ground without letting them touch. Nothing shifts through our torso, so we're staying really strong in this position. Straighten into a plank, hold. Push your hips up to the sky so we're getting a nice lengthening through our shoulders. You can once again have that awareness of keeping that core activated before restacking into a plank position. And then you're just going to rest your knees on the ground. Stay in that activated, strong plank position despite being on knees. And we're going to just push back into child's pose to just reset. Okay, this time, popping up onto your toes. We're going to go for a step out to the side, a step out to the side, and then we're going to jump it. If you don't like the jump, don't do it. We've got 5 of them though. Step out, pause, jump, bring it back in. Keep your hips low. Step out, jump. Step out, pause, jump out. Last one. Step, jump. Knees down, pull back once again. Right, one more. Here we go. Pop up onto your toes. You're going to lift one foot, lower it back down. Lift, lower it back down. Pop up onto your hands this time. We come up on one side, lower it back down. Lift up onto the other side, pause. Lift one leg, lower it down, and reset. If you can keep going, keep going. If you need to just rest, pull back, go for it. We're going to try for another 2 sets. So we started from forearms. It's a lift leading with your heel, a lift on the other side, pushing up, going back down, staying at the top, leading with the heel, other side, coming back down. My goodness, here we go, last one. Lift with your heel, lift, keeping your hips low, push up, back down, push up, stay up. Lead with the heel, and again, come back down. Pull back into child's pose. We're going to come down so that we're lying on our tummies. Palms face behind us. This is the last thing we're doing. Now, I want you to have an awareness of supporting your lower back in this position. So, once again, you're thinking about activating through the transverse to support that lower part of your back. You imagine a raspberry underneath your belly button that you're trying to protect. You don't want to squash it. Think about that. So we're lifting our belly button off the floor. And in this position, we're just going to lift our chest off the ground, palms facing up, lower back down. Again, we lift up. This time we're just going to add a pulse, and we're going to try and take our hands together and then reset. Lift up normally, chest off the ground, lower back down. Lift up, take our hands towards each other, and then lower back down. Lift up. And then as we do that extra part of that movement, you can think about rolling your shoulders back, squeezing your shoulder blades together at the top of that movement, lowering back down, making sure that throughout the whole thing, that core's once again activated. Yes, it's a back extension, but we're also making sure that our core's working just to support that movement. Squeeze your glutes. Think about what muscles are engaging just in this last exercise. One more. We lift, chest off the ground, gaze is neutral, lower back down, second back extension, and then just take the hands towards each other. Check in with your core. Are you still activating that transverse muscle? Are you still protecting that raspberry underneath your belly button, squeezing the glutes, and then lower back down. Push back into child's pose. Just take a moment to just check in with how your body's feeling. Inching your fingers across to the right and getting that nice lengthening down through the side of your torso. Changing sides. Coming back into that position, lying on the floor, we're going to stretch our arms out long, lift our chest up and really get that nice lengthening down through the front of our abdominal wall once again. And then pushing back into child's pose for the last time. Good, coming up to sitting. Now, that was a good 20-25 minutes of a solid core workout. We took you from that very basic beginning of having that awareness of essential core breath work. We added load, we added progressions, we added intensity, we threw around a few different exercises incorporating different planks, so really working hard. I hope that you feel like you have, but also that this is something that you can come back to when you just want that core focus, or you need those reminders of those smaller muscles that we really need to be working hard and building strength and endurance to protect the rest of our body and other movements. So, well done. Come back to this whenever you need it and let me know how you found it.